Good morning, guys. Dr. Andrew here. And I wanted to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects outside of the spine and nervous system, and that's actually coffee. Now, coffee is a very important part of my morning process, but as I've said before, it shouldn't be your first go-to drink in the morning. So the first thing I like to do is I like to get some morning movement in, I like to get some hydration in, meditation, before I have my coffee. Now, usually I'll do black coffee in the morning, because I like to spread out my intermittent fasting period as much as possible. So I don't like to have calories until later in the day. Now, when I might have a coffee a little later, like around 10 a.m., 10:30 to get an extra boost. And when I do that, I'll then add some maximizing benefits to it. Now, this is also important for women, for example, that want to mimic intermittent fasting to a certain regard. And sometimes women don't react very well to the intermittent fasting with no calories at all. So the way to do that is to add some healthy fats and some healthy proteins in. And I have a lot of resources here. I'm going to go through two good recipes. Now, usually I'll just do 1 tablespoon of grass-fed butter and 2 tablespoons of MCT oil. But today we're going to go over some tastier recipes so you guys can break away from your vanilla, sugary Starbucks lattes and that type of thing and start experimenting back home. Now, first, let's go over some health benefits of coffee. Now, coffee has some neurocognitive benefits. You know, when you drink it, you feel energized. It actually helps to mobilize fat, so it actually puts you in a fat-burning state. It actually is good for your liver, too. It naturally elevates glutathione. Now, some other things that coffee has is actually really high in antioxidants, bioflavonoids. Now, when you brew your coffee, it's very important that you use a metal filter. So whether I'm using my Chemex, I'm going to put a metal filter in that, or my French press, I'm going to use a metal filter at all times, because that helps to make sure the bioflavonoids will pass through that. If you use a paper filter, it's going to be absorbed. Some other things with coffee. You want to make sure that you get a locally roasted coffee that's washed. And the reason for that is coffee can be high in mycotoxins, or mold, for example. Now, coffee is also one of the most sprayed crops in the world too, so you want to get something organic. Now, I live in Denver, so I have plenty of options of coffee roasters to choose from. One of my favorite is Huckleberry Roasters, though. And I'm also a big fan of African beans. So this one right here is from Rwanda, and it's actually a women's group. So it's actually going towards a good cause, and it's going right to them, all the money. This is a direct trade bean here. Now, I'm going to go over some general concepts when it comes to brewing a good cup of coffee. We want the ratio to be 1 part coffee to 15 parts water. Now, I always use filtered water to help enhance that flavor of the coffee too. If you use crappy water, you're going to get crappy coffee. Sorry to say it. So let's go here and start brewing this coffee. Now, some things I'm going to utilize. The first recipe I'm going to do is it's a salted caramel, and the recipe I stole this from, they were using maple syrup, but I have a keto version right here. It's Lakanto maple syrup. It's actually sweetened with monk fruit, so it doesn't elevate your blood sugar at all, no insulin response. And that's going to be, I'm going to utilize some Max Collagen. This is unflavored in there too. This is great for your gut and is also a great protein source. And then the next one I'm going to do is a vanilla mocha, and that's going to utilize the Pure Path protein from MaxLiving, the vanilla flavored one, cacao butter, and I'm going to use a little bit of sea salt in each one here. And this also going to have cinnamon in the vanilla mocha one. Now, in each of these recipes, I'm going to put in MCT oil. MCT oil is very cool with your coffee, and adding fats in general is very important because it's going to delay the cortisol response, so you're going to get a longer duration of the energy benefit from the caffeine. Now, MaxLiving's MCT is really cool because there's a spectrum. It stands for medium chain triglycerides. So it's going to be either an 8-chain, 10-chain, or 12-chain. Now, the MCT from MaxLiving is purely the 8-chain or C8. This is really cool because it's going to bypass the regular digestive process it's going to go right from your small intestines to your liver and be converted into ketones. So you're going to get a huge energy boost and be in a state of nutritional ketosis right away. I'm also going to utilize the cacao butter, and now that's going to be very high in antioxidants, a very healthy fat as well. I'm also going to utilize ghee, grass-fed ghee. Now we're going to blend it, which is going to up something called butyric acid. And butyric acid is very good for your gut lining, but it also helps with offsetting hunger hormones. So you're going to be able to take this early in the morning, and you're going to be full throughout the day until you want to eat lunch later in the day. It helps to sustain the intermittent fasting period. It mimics it to a certain degree, and allows you to not raise your blood sugar at all. So let's go over here. So we're going to go with the 15. Let's start with water here first. So I'm always going to use the filtered water. I'm going to preset my thermometer here at 185. You don't want your water to get too hot or it's going to burn your coffee and you're not really going to get the flavor that you're looking for. So I'm going to go with 700 grams of water here. So with that 15-to-1 ratio, that's going to mean 47 grams of coffee. It smells so good. So one thing to do with the blade grinder is just make sure that you shake it as you're grinding. So I'm now going to add this to my French press. All right, now my water is at 185, so I'm going to add this to the French press. There we go, and 700 grams of water here. I'm going to place the top here, and I'm going to set my timer for 4 minutes. All right, now my timer is off, so I'm going to press this plunger down here. I'm going to pour both of these into a mason jar now. Now it's very important that you do not store your coffee into the French press. I know it's very common, but this is meant just for a brewing vessel. It's not meant for storage, and what's going to happen is you're going to over extract the coffee, and it's going to end up getting very bitter. You're not going to get that complexities and that beautiful taste that you're looking for with getting a great coffee bean from somewhere like Huckleberry Roasters, for example. All right, first let's go through the vanilla mocha. So we are going to add half a scoop of the vanilla Pure Path protein. We're going to add 2 wafers of the cocoa butter. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of either ghee or grass-fed butter. And we are going to do 1 tablespoon of the MaxLiving MCT oil. Going to do a few pumps of sea salt, a little dash of cinnamon, my wife's favorite. Cinnamon actually is very important with blood sugar regulation as well. And now I'm going to blend this for 20 seconds now. Now the blending is very important for emulsifying the MCT. It's also important for creating that butyric acid with the grass-fed butter. Now this frothy goodness is completed. Alright, so next for the salted caramel vanilla latte. So we're going to do 1 teaspoon of the grass-fed butter or ghee. I'm going to go just a little dash of vanilla in here. A few pumps of sea salt. We're going to go with 1 tablespoon of the Lakanto maple syrup. Syrup, whatever you prefer. We go with 1 tablespoon of the MaxLiving MCT oil. We're going to go with 1 scoop of the MaxLiving unflavored collagen. I'm sorry, half a scoop of that. So now we're going to blend this for 20 seconds. We got another cup of frothy goodness right here. Once again, yum. Alright guys, give that a try. Try maximizing your coffee next morning. Now remember, you can get either the unflavored collagen, the vanilla pure path, or the MaxLiving MCT oil from the office by calling us at 303-254-8430, or you can also go to thebackdocs.com and then go to our store from there to purchase this. Can't wait for you guys to try this out and let me know how that feels. And give that a share to somebody too if you know somebody that needs to maximize their coffee as well.